Let us remember that we're in the holy presence of a loving God. Does anyone have any intentions this morning for prayer? Not today. All right, then why don't we pray for you guys so that you can continue to be patient, even though it's tough to not go out of your house and not see your friends. So let's pray for resilience for you guys. St. John Baptist de La Salle, pray for us. Live Jesus in our hearts forever. Okay, so the last topic we were touching on was the phrases with gusta, the me gusta, te gusta phrases. And the other day I asked you guys to do a writing assignment, and a lot of them were great, and I could tell that people put a lot of effort into them. So thank you for that. If you didn't hand it in yet, or if you had to fix some things for me, please do that soon so that you get a good grade on that assignment. It's rubric based, so it's easy to get a good grade, as long as you know what I'm looking for in the rubric. So that being said, today we're going to move on to just one other new topic. It should not take too long, but please get out your notebooks. Please get out your notebooks. And here we go. Ok, hoy es el 2 de... No es marzo. ¿Qué es?
April.
Ajá, abril, ¿sí? Es abril de 2020. Es el 2 de abril. Y hoy vamos a hablar del verbo venir. Venir. Bueno. Has anyone seen that verb before? We're not sure.
No.
We have not. Okay. So venir is an irregular verb. It means come. Irregular verb. And it's similar to tener. It's similar to tener. Okay. So when we conjugate venir, it's similar to the way that tener conjugates. Does anyone remember how to conjugate tener?
Yo tango.
Yo tango, exactly. And so venir, what would it be, do we think, if it's similar to tener?
Vino.
Not quite. Yo tango or yo...
Vengo.
Vengo, exactly. Vengo. So just like tener, The yo form of venir has a G, even though there's no G in the infinitive form of the verb. And also like tener, we have an extra letter in the front part of this verb. This part of the verb is called the stem, VEN, and this part is called the ending, the IR. And in the stem of this verb, we have an extra letter in the to form. Anyone have a guess? It's just like tener.
BS.
Can we spell it? Anybody want to take a chance?
BENES.
Very close, very close. We have to have our extra letter in. So VIENES, just one extra letter, vienes. Instead of venes, it's vienes. Okay. And what would our usted, el, and ella form be?
Viene.
Viene, yeah, viene. Now, the extra letter, that I, that we put in these two forms doesn't happen in the nosotros form, and it's an IR verb. It's an IR verb. So what would our verb look like in the nosotros form?
Venemos.
Almost. If it was an ER verb, it would have an E, but it's an IR verb. So it has
Not.
an I, venimos, venimos. The vosotros also doesn't have that extra letter at the beginning. So we're gonna have our regular stem, and our IR ending for vosotros is just is, venís. When we get down to ustedes, ellos, and ellas, that one acts similarly to the to form in the usted, el, ella form. So what would that be?
Viene.
VNN. Yep, VNN. Good. Okay. So it's not too complicated. You have to memorize some things, just like we did with tener. But since we already know tener, it makes it a little bit easier to pick this one up. Okay. So let's do just a few examples. And then I have some good news for you guys. So we'll do a few examples. Okay. So why don't we pretend that we're not in quarantine, and let's say, at what time do you come to school? At what time do you come to school? A qué hora? And then we're gonna have venir in the to form. Oops. At what time do you come to school? What would we do with venir?
Change it to vienes.
Vienes, yeah, yep. Just like we always conjugate our verbs in our sentences. ¿A qué hora vienes tú a la escuela? We can also ask a really common question, where are you coming from? Like when you guys are late to class, you might hear me say, ¿de dónde vienes? Who am I speaking to there?
You.
You, yeah. Do I need to say to?
No.
I don't need to say to. Since vienes can only ever go with to, you don't always need to say to, because when you say vienes, the person knows that you're speaking to them. Okay, and let's do one more. So let's say llegamos tarde. We're arriving late. Porque. Where do you guys always tell me that you're coming from when you get to class late? Not lockers, but someplace else.
Lunch.
Lunch. Lunch is a
The
good
dean.
one.
The
Bathroom.
dean's office.
Yeah, the dean's office, student life, or the gym, or the science building, anything that's far away, right? So we're arriving late because we're coming from, pick one,
Lunch.
lunch. Great. And how would we say we come?
Nosotros. So
Mm-hmm.
then most.
Venimos, perfect. Venimos del almuerzo. We're coming late, we're arriving late because we come from lunch, because we're coming from lunch. Okay. In this one, did I say nosotros anywhere?
No.
No. Do we still know it has to be nosotros?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And why?
Because it's venimos.
Because we see venimos and we also see llegamos, exactly. So we have two verbs in the sentence telling us who the person is who's talking about their own actions, or it's actually a lot of people at this time. Okay.
Mhm.
Any questions about venir? Nice and simple.
Yeah.
Okay. So the good news is I'm not going to assign you guys any new work today. So you can take the time that you would normally put towards doing Spanish work to catch up on something that maybe you need to redo, or maybe you have to do for the first time. Or if you're totally caught up for Spanish, then maybe you could take a nap or do something for another class. But I'm not going to give you guys anything new to do today for me. I'd rather have you use it to catch up since the quarter ends tomorrow. And a lot of us are feeling stressed right now. So
Thank you.
no worries.
Thank
So
you.
I'm going to let you guys go unless we have any questions about venir.
Nope.
Okay.
Mm.
All right.
Thank you.
Adios. Gracias a
Adios.
ustedes.